The Black Mercy is a telepathic species. It reads the heart's desire and feeds the individual a totally convincing simulation of it.
In the Justice League Unlimited episode, For the Man Who Has Everything, Batman is attacked by the Black Mercy after helping free Superman. The Black Mercy gives its victims the life they most deeply desire, and Batman's deepest desire should be obvious: his parents alive, a normal life, and freedom from the burden of being Batman. Yet when the plant attaches itself to him, Batman does not remain trapped for long. The reason is that Bruce Wayne has already experienced this exact fantasy before. In the episode Perchance to Dream in the Batman the Animated Series, he was given the life he had always wanted. But Bruce ultimately rejected it because he realized that it was not real. He had already learned that even the most beautiful dream can become unbearable when it requires him to abandon the truth. Because of that experience, the Black Mercy has difficulty deceiving him a second time.
The mind-controlled apparatus reveals nothing to the real world. Its purpose is to create an ideal world for you.
In Perchance to Dream, Bruce awakens to discover that everything he thought he knew about his life has changed. His parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, are alive. Alfred has no knowledge of Batman. The Batcave does not exist. Bruce is engaged to Selina Kyle, and he has apparently been given the ordinary, peaceful life that the trauma of his childhood denied him. There is no reason for him to become Batman because the event that created Batman, the murder of his parents, never happened. At first, Bruce wants to believe it. This world offers him everything that the real world took away. He can have his parents. He can have Selina. He can have a life without nightly patrols, criminals, injuries, and the constant psychological burden of Gotham City. And he does not have to live with the knowledge that his parents died because a random act of violence changed his life forever. But Bruce cannot accept happiness simply because it is offered to him.
You know what I'm talking about. The entrance to the Batcave. Why is it sealed up?
Son, you sound upset. Is something the matter?
You're to marry Miss Selina Kyle. You proposed to her last week.
Selina?
Your mother called, darling, said you could use some cheering up. Who better for the job than the woman you're marrying next week?
The illusion begins to fall apart when he notices that something is wrong with it. The words in newspapers and books are wrong. His memories of being Batman refuse to disappear. Eventually, he confronts the false Batman and discovers that the entire world is a dream created by the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter tells Bruce that he has given him everything he could possibly want, but Bruce realizes that none of it matters if it is a lie. That realization is crucial to understanding Batman's reaction to the Black Mercy. Bruce has already been offered his perfect life, and he rejected it. He chose reality even though reality meant returning to the grave of his parents, returning to Gotham, and returning to the life of Batman. He chose a painful truth over a beautiful lie. Doing this demonstrated something fundamental about his character. Bruce does not merely want happiness. He needs his life to have meaning and authenticity. He cannot accept a perfect existence if he knows that it is false.
No, it's wrong. It's all wrong.
Well,
No! I won't live a lie, no matter how attractive you make it. There is a way out.
What if you're wrong?
Then I'll see you in your nightmares.
When the Black Mercy attaches itself to Batman, it gives him a version of his deepest desire. Bruce finds himself back in the night when his parents were murdered, except this time the outcome is different. Thomas Wayne fights back against the man with the gun. Instead of helplessly watching his father and mother die, Bruce sees his father overpower the man who destroyed his family. For a brief moment, the impossible has happened. Thomas is alive. His family has survived. Bruce is once again a child who has both of his parents. This is precisely the sort of fantasy that should trap Batman permanently. Yet something goes wrong. Diana's voice begins to reach Bruce from the real world. She calls his name, and he begins to sense that something is wrong with the reality surrounding him. The Black Mercy's fantasy is too good. It is giving Bruce something that he has already learned to distrust, a life in which everything has been repaired for him.
Get him, Dad, get him!
And this is where Perchance to Dream becomes essential to understanding the scene. Bruce has already experienced the fantasy of having his parents alive. He has already experienced a world where he does not need to be Batman. He has already experienced the life where everything he lost was returned to him, and he already chose to leave it. In Perchance to Dream, Bruce's fundamental problem with his fantasy is not simply that he discovers it is artificial. The deeper problem is that the fantasy gives him a life he does not believe he could simply receive. Bruce's psychology is built around effort, sacrifice, responsibility, and guilt. He does not believe that good things simply happen to him. If he wants something, he has to fight for it. If he fails to prevent something terrible, he blames himself. Even when he succeeds, he often questions whether he has truly done enough.
No. No, it's impossible. No. It can't be you. It can't be. It's like I'm living someone else's life. You're a lie. It's all a lie.
The fantasy of Perchance to Dream violates that worldview. Thomas and Martha are simply alive. Bruce simply has a normal life. Selina simply loves him. He simply does not have to be Batman. Everything has been handed to him without a price, and Bruce cannot live with that. There is something deeply sad about this, because it means that even Bruce's ideal life is something he cannot accept unless he has earned it. He cannot simply wake up and discover that his parents survived and then accept that as his reality. Somewhere inside him, he knows that the world does not work that way. His parents died. That loss shaped him. Batman exists because of that loss. To erase the tragedy would be to erase a fundamental part of Bruce Wayne. That is why his escape from the Black Mercy feels almost inevitable.
Yes!
The nightmare is over. I've never felt better in my life, sir.
It's nice to see you in good humor again, Master Bruce.
My life is a dream, Alfred. The best dream anyone ever had.
When the plant shows him Thomas Wayne surviving, Bruce is not simply experiencing happiness. He is experiencing an impossibility. His father is doing something that Bruce has spent his entire life wishing could have happened. Yet when Diana's voice reaches him, the illusion begins to fracture. The gunman eventually shoots Thomas, recreating the murder that Bruce knows actually happened. The dream becomes reality again, and Bruce wakes up. What makes this fantasy interesting is the contrast with Superman. Superman's fantasy is an entire world that could have existed. Krypton survived, his parents are alive, and he has a wife and son. The Black Mercy gives him not merely one corrected moment, but an entire alternate life. Superman has to recognize that the world is collapsing around him before he can let it go. His emotional attachment to Van-El makes his escape devastating because he has to say goodbye to a child who never existed.
Rao, help me. But I don't think you're real. You are everything I ever wanted in a son. I promise you, I'll never forget.
Are you the dreamer or merely part of someone's dream?
Batman, however, has already confronted his own perfect world. He has already asked himself the question, if I could have everything I ever wanted, would I stay? And his answer was no. That is why Batman's resistance to the Black Mercy is not necessarily because he wants his parents any less than Superman wants Krypton. In fact, his reaction suggests the opposite. His parents are perhaps the most important thing he could ever be given. The difference is that Bruce has already learned that having them back does not make the lie worth living. Bruce Wayne is someone who could theoretically choose comfort, wealth, safety, and happiness, but he repeatedly chooses responsibility instead. He could have walked away from Gotham. He could have stopped being Batman. He could have allowed himself to live a normal life, but he chooses to sacrifice all of that in order to be the Batman. The life he wants and the life he believes he must live are constantly in conflict.
I'm crushed! You don't like the fantasy world I've created for you?
It's not real.
It's impossible! No one's will is strong enough to escape my dream machine!
Bruce's greatest fantasy is not really about wealth, Selina, or even Batman disappearing. It is about being a child whose parents never died. That is the wound underneath everything else. The Black Mercy briefly allows him to touch the life that was taken from him, only for him to lose it again. But Bruce has already learned how to let it go. Perchance to dream is almost a preparation for the Black Mercy. The earlier episode teaches Bruce that a perfect dream is not the same thing as a perfect life. By the time the Black Mercy finds him, he has already experienced the most seductive lie it could possibly tell him. He knows exactly how beautiful it can be, and he knows exactly why he must reject it. Bruce chooses reality not because reality is better, but because it is real. He chooses to wake up, and perhaps that is why the Black Mercy cannot keep him for long. Bruce has already had everything he ever wanted, and he has already learned that he would rather lose it than live a lie.